Hello everyone, today we're going to be making a team change system. As usual, all project files are in my Discord server, links in the description. So let's get straight into it. So, first of all we're going to insert a screen GUI into starter GUI, and then a text button into there. This is going to be our button to open up the GUI. I'm just going to label it change team. I am going to do a little bit of a better GUI in the project file on my Discord server. So also inside of the screen GUI we're going to need a local script and also a frame. Inside of the frame we'll just drag this into the middle here, just like that. Inside of the frame we're going to need 3 text buttons. I'm just going to make this slightly like a blacker sort of colour, just so that we can see it a bit easier. And then I'm going to do 3 buttons inside of here, and I'm going to label this one civilian, this one police, and this one SWAT. So they're going to be my 3 teams. Next, if you go up here to model and service, you'll then be able to insert the teams service, and this is what you actually use to create your teams. So if we insert 3 teams in here, and we'll call one of them civilian, one of them police, and one of them SWAT. Make sure on these 2 you turn off auto assignable, or if you want police to be the role players get at first time, then turn on auto assignable for that one. And then also make sure you change the team colour for all 3. So for the civilian I'm going to have the industrial white colour, for the police we're going to have the cyan colour, and then for the SWAT we'll have the dark stone grey colour. So the important thing is that we change the name property, which is here, of these to the same as the team. So I'm going to do that first. We are going to have the civilian as that one, police should be this one, and then the SWAT should be this one. Okay, so we'll start off by going into this script just here, make it a bit bigger so you can see it. And then first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this frame here is set to false. I'm just going to rename it to teams actually. I'll change this to open. So inside of this local script we can say script.parent.teams.visible equals false. And then that is going to ensure that this here is not visible on your screen. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to say script.parent.open.mouse but one click and then connect function. So that's saying whenever this button here is clicked, it is going to set the visibility of the frame to not what it already is. So if it's set to visible, then it'll set it to not visible. If it's set to not visible, then it'll set it to visible, if that makes sense. And then down here we're going to say script.parent.teams.changed connect function, and this is basically saying whenever a property inside of here is changed or a child's changed, then we're going to say if script.parent.teams.visible is equal to true, then we're saying if this window is open, we're going to say script.parent.open.text equals close. Because if this is open, this text here will then change to saying close, because this button will close the window obviously. And then for else we'll say script.parent.open.text equals change team. So if it's not set to true, it'll set it to change team, if that makes sense. Okay, so now if I play, you'll see that GUI disappears straight away, and then this here opens and closes the GUI. Okay, and this little bit here will work on pretty much any GUI, so feel free to use that on other things. Okay, so if we then go into these folders here, okay then, so if we insert a local script into civilian, we're going to say script.parent.mouse button one click connect function. So we're saying whenever this here is clicked, we'll say game dot, oh, we need a remote event in here. We'll set this remote event to change team event. Then we'll say game dot replicate storage dot change team change team event colon fire server, and then we'll send the team. So we'll say script.parent.name, so we'll set whatever this is set to, and then we'll say script.parent.parent.visible equals false, so it'll set this visibility to false. So now what we can do is, because we don't have to change this value here, we'll be able to just, oops, I didn't mean to duplicate it that many times, we'll just be able to do this. So it'll have the same script in every single one. So that is the client side done. Now if we go to the server side, insert a script into server script service, and then we can say game.replicate storage.change team event colon connect, that's clone, colon change team event. Oh right, I forgot to put dot on server event. That's what the issue was. Right, okay. So then inside of here, a remote event always passes a value, which is the player's client. So we can set a value as PLR, and then we can also set a value as team. Because if we look inside of this script here, we can see that we are sending the name of the team as this, as a string value. Okay, so if first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set local team color equals game.teams colon find first child's team dot team color. So this here is going to go to this teams folder here. It's going to find the first child which has the name of whatever we pass, and then it's going to set the team color to this variable. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do player.teamColor, which is a value you have inside of the player. I'll show you that when we test it. Equals team color. So this is going to change the player's team color to whatever we find from this variable. And the last thing we're going to do is respawn the character. If you don't want to respawn the character, you can remove this. There we go. And now I'm just going to add some comments. Okay, there we go. So I've just added some comments into my script, so then it's a bit easier to distinguish what everything does. Okay, now let's test it. Just give it a second to load. Okay, so we click on this button here, we've got no errors. Civilian, it's put me on the civilian team, I already was on. Police, put me on the police team. SWAT, it's put me on the SWAT team. Okay, so that all works. I'm just going to set this visibility to false, so it's not in my way. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some spawn pads for each team. So this is going to be our civilian, this is going to be our police, this is going to be our SWAT. So if we click on this one here, I'm just going to rename it to civilian spawn. And then we can set the team color to industrial white. I think that's what it was. Yep. So industrial white, neutral turned off. And then if you want players to also be able to change the team by walking on it, then you can. And then we're going to do the same for these, but this one here is going to be our police. So we're going to set it to this and change the name to police spawn. And then a spawn to SWAT spawn, turn that off and set it to the right color. And then just to make things a little bit easier, I'm also going to set the actual color of the spawn pads to this. Okay, now let's test it. Okay, as you can see, we have spawned on the civilian spawn pad. If I change team to the police, we spawn on the police spawn pad, and change to the SWAT, we spawn on the SWAT spawn pad. If you want to add more teams, all you need to do is duplicate these and duplicate these here. Just make sure you change the name to whatever the team is. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want to check out the source files, make sure to have a look in my Discord server. There's a link in the video description, and I'll see you in the next video.